Kia is getting into the American electric car business big time with a big electric car. First, let me apologize for all the bugs in front of the camera, but I was told there is a lot of buzz around this model. The Kia EV9 is the brand's first large three-row electric vehicle, and while it's currently imported from South Korea, in a few weeks they're going to start making these at Kia's factory in West Point, Georgia, which very much makes them American cars and racing material. And while we can't wait to get our hands on one of those built in the Peach State, we had to try it out in the meantime, especially since the EV9 was named 2024 North American Utility Vehicle of the Year and 2024 World Car of the Year. The EV9 is offered with three powertrain options. The entry-level version is rear-wheel drive, has 215 horsepower and a range of just 230 miles per charge, but you can get it with rear-wheel drive and an extended range battery pack that bumps that up to 304 miles, although the power drops to 201 horsepower. And then there are the all-wheel drive models like this top-of-the-line GT line that come with the larger battery pack and have ranges from 270 to 280 miles per charge depending on the trim. They also have 379 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque, which puts them in muscle car territory and can accelerate the EV9 to 60 miles an hour in 5 seconds. Prices start at $56,395 for the entry-level rear-wheel drive, $60,695 with the extended range pack, and $65,395 for the cheapest all-wheel drive version, while the GT line tops out at $75,395. And while the South Korean-made EV9s don't qualify for any of the current federal tax credits on electric vehicle purchases, Kia will give you a $7,500 discount, which is how much it'll get in a credit once they start making them in Georgia. The EV9's interior is mostly conventional in the modern Kia way. You've got this large frame with a bunch of digital displays within it, and this nifty roll-top center console hiding the brand's signature deployable cup holders. This has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto smartphone integration, and not everything is controlled by the touchscreen. This has actual physical climate controls, although also some more on the touchscreen up here, and even more if you want them. Personally, I'm a fan of redundancy, less so of these touchpads you can use to bring up the major functions of the infotainment system. There is one feature on the touchscreen that really tells you how interconnected all the features in this vehicle are. It's a seat control for the second row seats that allows you to slide them forward and back and even turn on and off the climate system. Now, you can't control the front seats from the screen, but they are part of the whole electric ecosystem because they have been designed to recline to an extreme angle, all the way back in fact, so you could take a nap. And they even have a leg rest. This is nicer than a lot of people's home recliners. And the reason you want this is because when you're sitting around charging, you might as well take a nap, right? And charging at a fast charging station in this does take a while. At a 350 kilowatt station, Kia estimates it'll take about 25 minutes to charge it from 10 to 80%. And in my testing, that seems about right. The EV9 absolutely crushes my 6'1" scooch test, where I see how I fit behind myself with the front seat set for me. At least here in the second row, things aren't quite as good in the third. Plenty of scooching for someone my size to fit, but it's not bad for children. The EV9 comes standard with 7-passenger seating, but the GT line's available with this relaxation captain's chair package that costs $2,000 and is the only thing you will find on the options list. As with the front seats, these can recline quite a bit, although not to the same extreme, but they do have a footrest, although for me at 6'1", it's not all that useful. Again, probably something better for the kids. Or if there's nobody sitting in the front passenger seat, probably works pretty well right there. Cargo area behind the third row is a pretty decent size even before you fold the rear seat down, and you get this carrying case for your portable charging cable, which has some nice Velcro on the bottom to keep it from slipping and sliding around. As with many electric vehicles, the EV9 also has a frunk, but it's kind of small, so not that funky. There's nothing funky about the way the EV9 rides. It takes 5-10 feet of driving it to realize how well dialed in everything is. The powertrain, the brakes, the suspension, the steering, it's all top notch. So it's very quiet, even by EV standards, just 58.2 decibels of sound in the cabin at highway speed, which is remarkable. But you can turn it up if you like with some fake motor noises, as electric cars often has. This one has 3 levels: smallest change, moderate change, and largest change. All of which are not that great, so I'm going to leave them off. You might like them, but I don't think they're as convincing or entertaining as the sounds made by another vehicle that's built on the same platform as the EV9, the Hyundai Ioniq 5N that we recently tested, which has a much more advanced faux exhaust system inside and outside of the car, and a simulated 8-speed transmission to go with it just for the fun of it. And while I don't think this needs that transmission, I'm amazed at how much it feels like the Hyundai, because this is a much bigger vehicle, weighs nearly 6,000 pounds, but it feels really sporty when you start pushing it towards the limits. And according to Kia, this will pull 0.84 G on the skid pad. Chalk some of that up to the low center of gravity provided by the battery pack and the gigantic 285 series tires, which are specifically engineered for an electric car to make it more efficient, but also have plenty of grip. And what's also impressive about this is the way it delivers the power. Some electric powertrains are a little sloppy the way they shuffle it around. This one feels very smart. It can haul a trailer too. All-wheel drive models can tow 3,500 to 5,000 pounds, depending on the trim and how they're equipped. Despite being shaped like a box, the EV9 doesn't feel like a bunker. The windows are large and come down low, offering a great view all around and even over the hood. It has that little dip at the front. Now this is very similar in size to the Kia Telluride, although the cabin in that is a little roomier, especially in the third row. And an all-wheel drive one of those costs nearly $20,000 less than this, at least the base model. But this is a very premium feeling vehicle and will save you about $2,000 a year in energy cost if you charge it at home. On the other hand, if you use public fast charging stations all the time, you can be spending about the same on energy as you would with a Telluride. Although this does come with 1,000 kilowatt hours of free charging at Electrify America, so figure about 10 fill-ups. But while there are some people who might be cross-shopping this against the Telluride or bringing in their Telluride off lease and jump into one of these instead, there are other competitors in the 3-row electric SUV class. The 2 closest of which are the Rivian R1S and the Tesla Model X, both of which have starting prices in the ballpark of the GT line. While fuel economy might be something you think about when looking at the Telluride, range definitely is not. Sure, it has a range per tank, but finding a gas station and the time it takes to fill up, not a big deal. Definitely is an issue for an electric vehicle like the EV9, and personally, I don't think 230 miles is enough for something you're paying 56 grand for. But 304 miles at 61 grand sounds a lot better. And even the 270 to 280 miles the all-wheel drive models deliver sounds acceptable, especially since it's very honest. I've driven this several hundred miles, charged it a few times, and its range rating seems right on the money. Some electric cars really don't come close to what's on their window sticker. Interestingly, the entry-level Rivian's range is 270 miles per charge, just like the GT lines. But overall, if you're not looking for off-road capability, this more than holds its own against that and the Model X. Although the Model X is rated at 335 miles of range, but costs about 10 grand more than this if you get the 3-row version. High-tech goodies include a head-up display, emergency automatic brakes in front and rear of the car, and Kia's highway driving assist, which has a very good lane centering feature that requires you to keep your hands on the wheel, but doesn't make you do much with them. It pretty much steers itself as long as the road doesn't get too twisty. One mystery that still remains about the EV9 is how good the ones Kia builds in the American South will be compared to the ones it builds in South Korea. And we look forward to solving that mystery for you as soon as we can.